Let's begin with the latest coming in on the UN General Assembly address. Now, during his address at the UN General Assembly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to a ban on single-use plastic. PM Modi said that the country is now leading the fight against climate change. The government is also swiftly moving towards issuing a notification banning single-use plastic. Multiple states have already imposed curbs on plastic use. At Mirna, we have decided to champion this proposed ban on single-use plastic, which is why we are running a special campaign today against the use of single-use of plastic. Now, from across the country, all day today, our reporters will tell you what states are doing at their level, what people are doing, what initiatives are taken, what alternatives are available, is there a workable plan in place, and how you can do your bit to say no to plastic.
Wouldn't be enough to say that Greater Chennai Corporation is actually doing a revolution when it comes to segregation of garbage, because here we are actual dumpster, but you could see behind us how the thing is. They in the gate itself they start the segregation. Plastic is differentiated from normal items. Biological waste is completely removed. Most of them are used as compost, and all these plants over here, whatever you see, they are grown from actual waste, and that's the most surprising part. It's actually working in a very good manner. If you could see over here, this is manure that has been collected from dumpster, biological waste, and these plants are actually grown here. In fact, these are sold. In fact, they have a separate unit for actually shredding plastic that is also being done here. And each and every coconut that you see over here, all those things are collected from garbage alone, but here they are completely changed. The best part here is that those shoes you see, they have been repaired. They are actually removed and taken from the garbage, repaired such the same way. Behind us you could see actually people working. Whatever clothes that they could recover from such garbage, they are repairing it, they are washing it, they are ironing it and giving it to the people who are in need. In fact, clothes that cannot be given back to people to wear, it's cut and made into eco-friendly bags. That way a greater revolution is actually occurring, and here it seems like per day 15 tons of waste would come to this spot, of which right now they're almost recycling 4.5 tons. Definitely a greater job done by the Greater Chennai Corporation.
We launched something called the Zero Waste Chennai initiative. What the Zero Waste Chennai initiative means is that we need to transition to a different way of waste management. It has so far a lot of waste management conversations have focused on collection and disposal in our dump yard. It has to be source segregation, and it has to be three-way source segregation, right? So all houses, all apartments, all offices have to maintain their biodegradable waste, their non-biodegradable waste, which is recyclable, and their sanitary waste. They have to be three separate streams, and this has to be done within our premises. The second thing that the corporation is doing is setting up infrastructure that's necessary to process segregated waste. We are also setting up material recovery facilities. These MRFs, we have currently about 75 odd MRFs across the city. This is where all the non-biodegradable, recyclable material from households is taken. And from the MRFs, vendors are being engaged to come and collect it.
நம்ம ரோடு போகிறதுக்கு அதுக்கெல்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு போகிறோம். ரோடுக்கெல்லாம்
எவ்வளோ பிளாஸ்டிக் குறைஞ்சிருக்கு? முன்னாடி எவ்வளோ வந்துட்டு இப்போ எவ்வளோ வந்துட்டு இருந்தது?
இப்போ பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 30% மேலே குறைஞ்சிச்சு சார். குறைஞ்சிருக்குது.
வர பிளாஸ்டிக் என்ன செய்வீங்க?
அதான் நம்ம இப்போ மிஷின் இருக்கு இல்லைங்களா, உள்ளே பார்த்தீங்க இல்லையா, அரைச்சி நம்ம திரும்ப ரோடு யூஸுக்கு அதுக்கெல்லாம் மற்றதுக்கெல்லாம் எடுத்து போகிறோம்.
அந்த மாதிரி
நாங்கள் வேலை செஞ்சுட்ருக்கோம். வேஸ்ட்டு துணியை வந்துச்சுன்னா நாங்கள் அந்த பேக்கெல்லாம் தைக்கிறோம். தைச்சிட்டு இந்த உரம் நாங்கள் வைக்கிறோம், நாங்களே சேல்ஸ் பண்ணுறோம். அது நாங்கள் இந்த உரம் இந்த பேக்கில் நாங்கள் போட்டு கொடுத்து அனுப்புகிறோம். சரி, வாங்குறவங்களுக்கு நாங்கள் கொடுக்குறோம்.
நல்லபடியாக மூவ் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கா? நிறைய பேர்
நிறைய பேர் வாங்குறாங்க. நாங்களே வீட்டுக்கு டோர் கலெக்ஷன் பண்ணுறோம். சில பேர் அவங்களே பிரித்து தருவாங்க. சரி, நாங்கள் சொல்லுவோம், நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் வீட்டிலும் போயிட்டு காய்கறி தனியாக பிரித்து கொடுங்க, மைக்கா தனியாக பிரித்து கொடுங்க, மைக்கானால உங்களுக்கு நிறைய இதாகும், நாங்கள் எடுத்துகிட்டு போயிட்டு நாங்கள் பிரித்து நாங்கள் எங்கள் செக்ரேஷனுக்கு இது பண்ணுறோம், நாங்கள் மறுசுழற்சி பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னு நாங்கள் சொல்கிறோம்.
Well, what we just brought you is this report from Chennai. Now, let me just tell you, from January this year, Tamil Nadu government has imposed a ban on single-use plastic. The city's civic body, Greater Chennai Corporation, has taken the challenge head-on by launching the Zero Waste Initiative. According to civic officials, this has led to a 5 to 10% drop in plastic waste. It's a small but important beginning, significant beginning that has been made in Tamil Nadu, and that must be applauded. At least 70 material recovery facilities have been set up to deal with biodegradable waste. So Miranow's Pramod Madhav is tracking all the details on this for us, because it's important to understand that here is a case where, to a certain extent, however small, the Chennai Corporation, Greater Chennai Corporation, has taken an extremely important initiative that has yielded result, because we are talking about how this has led to a 5 to 10% drop in plastic. We were listening to environmentalists and also people who are involved in this entire campaign, telling us about how the garbage segregation process has well and truly begun. People are now aware of this process, and individual buildings, apartments, housing societies are now cooperating with this. Let me get in a word from Pramod, who brought us this report. So Pramod, you were showing us these material recovery facilities that have been set up. Some important decisions have been taken, and also these are being executed. To what extent has this been a success? And in terms of awareness, is there enough awareness? Because Tamil Nadu is one state that has already decided on a draft law. It has already come up with penalties. But are people now cooperating? Civil society cooperation, as we know, is critical in this. To what extent are people aware and cooperating?
Well, we would definitely say that the civil thought when it comes to saving the environment has increased. In fact, you could see behind us, this is one location called as Pallavaram, and this is a makeshift dump yard, not even a proper dump yard like Kodungayur or Pallikarnai. And you could see how it is eating into water bodies. And every day when people see this thing, definitely they were not happy, because this is actually a water body. You can see wildlife still surviving around it. But unfortunately, Chennai producing 3,500 tons of waste every day. It's unable to actually cope up with it, and that's why it almost went about, like the Greater Chennai Corporation had to use such water bodies, which is being condemned right now. Thankfully, Tamil Nadu banned single-use plastic by January, and by April, the Greater Chennai Corporation has, just like you mentioned, created an initiative to make sure that there is zero waste management, and that's the reason they started with material recovery facilities and micro compost centers. And when it comes to material recovery facilities, it seems like for different zones, different results they are obtaining. For example, a minimum of 5% to a maximum of 30% of materials are being recovered, be it solid waste, which also includes plastic and various other materials. Plastic in general is either it's completely shredded, and it's either used for recycling or making other products, or in road laying. And then even the solid waste, be it like rubber shoes, be it like clothes, either if the clothes are well and good, they immediately wash it, iron it, repair it, and stitch it, and give it to people who are in need. And if the clothes are not, they cannot use the clothes in the proper way, they are turning into cloth bags, and they are giving it for a very cheap price. That way, Greater Chennai Corporation has started this initiative to make sure that this mistake does not continue.
Absolutely. And in terms of the law that is being drafted, Pramod, we were looking at the kind of penalties that are there. People must be aware of this, which is why we need to highlight it, that the fact that burning plastic in private or public space is banned in Tamil Nadu, you could pay a penalty for it. As per the fine proposed in the draft by law, you could pay 1,000 rupees for burning plastic. So it's not just burning plastic, Pramod. There are other categories as well which have been listed out. Can you take us through some important points from that draft law?
Certainly, there are two important things with these draft laws. If it could be implemented with the coming month itself. And the first and foremost thing is that segregation should start, especially private players. If you are conducting a major event, that the maximum waste of plastic that comes from paper plates and water bottles, the segregation, they are responsible for it. And if they do not do that, they can be fined for a minimum of 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. And the second most important part, just like you mentioned, is incineration of plastic waste. The Greater Chennai Corporation is trying to inform people, to make them aware that if you burn plastic, you are releasing a lot of harmful materials into the air. Even the Greater Chennai Corporation is trying to find out if there are any other methods to actually remove these plastic waste, because for now they are using incineration as the only process, though they claim that they have palladium and platinum filters, which completely catalyze these harmful, products. It is not that effective, and that's the reason Greater Chennai Corporation is also welcoming ideas as to how to dispose these plastics. But for now, they're also trying to make sure that the usage of plastic is reduced. So that way, Greater Chennai Corporation's bylaws, is very important. They want to create awareness among people about lesser usage of plastic and make sure that the private players are responsible and segregate whenever an event is conducted. They segregate these plastic wastes and make sure it's easy for the Greater Chennai Corporation to remove them from the environment.
Absolutely. So, Pramod, stay with us. We have to, in fact, also bring to the notice of our viewers that each one of us can do our bit, because there's plastic everywhere in our lives. We have to consciously shun use of plastic, which cannot be reused to begin with. I would, of course, go across to reporters in other locations as well. But just to tell our viewers at this point, the reason why we are doing this is an extremely important campaign that we are spearheading today. The health impact and the environmental impact of plastic is something you will see running on our screens right now, so that you understand what is the kind of repercussions that we can face as humans in this planet if we do not immediately act on this. What we can do as individuals, that's running on your screens: avoid bottled water, reuse shopping bags. These are small things, small change, remember, can make a big difference. In the larger picture, of course, there are real challenges across the country in completely banning the single-use plastic. It's still a long journey ahead. It still looks like a distant dream to have plastic completely banned. But at least single-use plastic should be immediately banned. If there is enough awareness, if there is a sensitization process, people would be willing to cooperate with this, because after all, this is about our health and environment. There is a feasible plan in place that is being worked out right now. The Prime Minister himself is championing this particular cause. And at this point in time, of course, in several states, sensitization process has begun. Remember, in Tamil Nadu, for instance, the entire garbage segregation process has well and truly begun. There are these processing units, in fact, which you are looking at right now on your screens. This is part of the Zero Waste Initiative in Chennai. There are these material recovery facilities that have been set up where waste is segregated. There are 3 levels where waste need to be segregated at every individual apartment level, where they have to be segregated to biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and sanitary waste. Now, these are initiatives that are required to be taken at the level of civil society. The community cooperation, like we've been insisting, is extremely critical in this process. Now, there must be, of course, on the part of the government, due process of consultation and deliberation with the stakeholders, because remember, there are vested interests who are always, trying to derail an agenda like this. So therefore, important to actually bring everybody on board, build a consensus around this, and then implement a workable plan, because a lot of time imposition of fines and penalties do not help. There are people who subvert the system, the people who, like I said, manage to work their way around it or even flout rules. So it is extremely important that there is a due process of consultation, after which, of course, there should be strong enforcement by law insofar as the ban in the use of plastic is concerned.